Okay, this is a water pollution presentation by Michelle Hernandez. So, what is water pollution? Water pollution is defined as the presence in groundwater of toxic chemicals and biological agents that exceed what is naturally found in the water and may pose a threat to human health and/or the environment. We should know, guys, that with water pollution, there comes a lot of waterborne diseases. Um, so let's start with Sounds's water supply. We get our supply from the Soundset Water Company. I got a picture of the map they usually service, and that's underneath the Soundset Water Company logo, which I also got from their website. And pretty much Soundset's groundwater is pumped from over 100 wells that draw directly from the Santa Clara groundwater basin, which accounts for about 40% of the water supply from Soundset Water Company. We get our drinking water from local streams and rivers, and our water is imported from Sacramento and its surrounding rivers. Water collected from the lakes and reservoirs. Soundset Water Company maintains in the Santa Cruz Mountains, where surface water is collected, transported, and treated into 2 water treatment plants. Local surface water company accounts for approximately 10% of Soundset's water supply. So, how do we stop water pollution? So, there's point source pollution that comes from municipal sewage and industrial discharges, and there's non-point. For point source pollution, that's directly. Example, in 1981, Cincinnati suffered from a paint factory who discharged hydrochloric, I believe it's called, acid into the city sewers. This resulted in the sewer pipes collapsing, and they were pretty much out of business for like a few years. There's also So pretty much sewage systems are the nation's most frequent violators of the Clean Water Act. And the Clean Water Act is a law where it's meant to have lakes and rivers be fishable and swimmable. You know, so non-point source pollution are contaminants that come from stormwater runoff from farmland construction sites and urban streets. And this is actually the biggest threat of the water pollution because there is no control of it. Example, because of this, a waterborne disease sickened 400,000 people in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and they believe to have they believe that the source, or that the reason for this to have happened was agricultural runoff. So it's very important, as well as, like I said, New York Times actually said that sewage systems are the nation's most frequent violators of the Clean Water Act. So pretty much, Sonoma City storm drain systems assist transporting water to creeks, rivers, and San Francisco Bay. Yet contaminants can be mixed in with irrigation water flowing over sidewalks, driveways, and landscaping, or going into the drain system unprocessed. The goal is to prevent water pollution from happening. Therefore, we must invest into upgrading our drain sewers. So, I think it was the Engineer Association. I forgot who it was. So pretty much they have said that in order to fix the nation's sewage infrastructure, it would take 20 years. And not only that, but it would also cost $298 billion to fix it. So I guess that we begin by renovating old drainage entrances throughout the most populated areas in the city. But because this is such a high cost to do, and especially in San Jose, there's $35,000 storm drains in San Jose. So I would want to start by renovating 1,000, just because it's like a trial in the beginning. If it works, then they proceed to do 35,000. So, renovating city storm drainage. The typical sewer drainage has a 6-inch gap entrance from the sidewalk onto the street level. The goal is to replace the older drain grade covers with fully covered drain covers in an L-shaped form. By doing this, we can prevent actual items from entering into our storm drainages. A catch basin filter is to be added under the drain to prevent any excessive debris particles from entering the drain system, followed by a thinner mesh under to continue preventing any other substances other than water from entering into the drainage. So it's like a do-it-yourself type of filtering instead of having like a filter machine under the drain that would cost thousands. We would start with something like this: from old to new improved drain covers grates. So on the left is the most popular current storm drain in San Jose, and what I mean by that 6-inch gap, it's that opening there, which this picture here is perfect because it has a lot of trash in the storm drain, which just clogs and it's just pollution all over it. By adding a grate to the cover, we're eliminating that. So, or replacing the entirety of the drain to new and improvised galvanized steel drains in the L form. This is what I mean by the L form here. So it would be a drain like this, but over this, and nothing would be able to get in but water. Thick substances might get in, but again, the catch basin filter underneath would sustain it. So our current drainage maintenance, so pretty much San Jose City already has established 21 large trash capture devices into the drainage system. And the way they work is that they collect all excessive trash that gets into a storm drain, which is great, but by the time we capture that trash, contamination may have already happened. And this is a picture of a drain in front of McKinley Elementary School. And again, that 6-inch gap is the entryway for trash, toxins, and unwanted debris to have an easy entrance into the drainage system. We need to eliminate that. So the goal is to change the entirety of the typical drain, and instead of being maintenance for cleaning out trash, the maintenance goes towards cleaning the catch basin filters each drain is to have. By eliminating the opportunity of litter getting into our storm drains, especially large objects, we can focus on cleaning and filtering the actual water going into our drainages, making its way into our oceans and rivers. So, example, in the previous slide, there was a picture of a soda. If that would have not been a soda, but a quart of oil, maybe an open quart of oil, that would have been just left there, gotten into there, and flowed into the drainage, it would have already been too late because it would have been already contaminated. So the point of eliminating any entryway is that eliminating trash itself is polluting, but when there's oil or contaminations, chemicals like that people can have no regard for and just throw into the drain to not be able to dispose of the proper way, that's when it's a big problem, and that's where the biggest threat comes in. Like I said, sewage systems are the nation's most frequent violators of the Clean Water Act. So we need to close off any entryway and just making it for the fully purpose of water. So the cost of this, to minimize costs, integrating the gap cover can be more cost effective. Each grade cover can range around $100 according to a few online websites. Yet upon a bulk order, the cost can lower. And for the drain grade itself, we would be replacing a cast iron with a galvanized drain. And the cost around that is like $185. But for together, you're looking at maybe $300. And that's just on the drain grate covers themselves. That's not even including the basin filter. So the catch basin filter is another $90,000 per piece, and you're looking at a quantity of 1,000, which is 9,000. But even then, these are heavy duty durable. That's why they're $90. but they're not lifetime. So the cost of this would always increase just because you probably have to buy multiple throughout the years. But the materials for initiating the project would be just the materials cost. We're looking at $320,000. Labor itself would probably be you multiply maybe twice as much. So it would be maybe $1 million startup, just because labor would be the most costly thing with prevailing wage and all that, because it is a city type of job. But that's the idea of eliminating any entryway into the drainage system. That way, the only thing going in is water, and then the being able to filter and clean that might be easier than having to clean out trash and all that stuff. These are local drainages. They're, again, the most common popular drain. It's that. And they're all filled with leaves and trash, unwanted debris. We need to eliminate that. These are the references I used. And that is all. Thank you.